In a surprising turn of events that has the global tech industry buzzing, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has once again found himself at the center of controversy, this time over his remarks about China and the future of artificial intelligence. Speaking at the Financial Times Future of AI Summit, Huang reportedly declared that China is going to win the AI race, a statement that instantly ricocheted across media outlets and ignited debate among economists, analysts, and experts and policymakers. But within hours, Nvidia moved swiftly to soften the tone. A revised statement was posted on the company's official X account, quoting Huang as saying, "China is nanoseconds behind America in AI. It's vital that America wins by racing ahead and winning developers worldwide." The rapid clarification suggested that Nvidia, one of the most powerful forces in global technology, is walking a delicate line between business interests and geopolitics. Huang's initial comment, if accurately reported, marked one of his most striking warnings yet about the shifting balance of power in artificial intelligence. His suggestion that China could surpass the US in the AI race underscored deep tensions surrounding the tech rivalry between the world's two largest economies. The stakes are enormous. AI now sits at the core of global innovation, influencing everything from defense systems to financial markets. For the United States, which has long been home to the world's most dominant chip makers, the idea that China could win carries major implications. Analysts note that Huang's words reflect not only his assessment of China's accelerating AI ecosystem, but also his frustration over U.S. export restrictions that have constrained Nvidia's business in one of its largest potential markets. Over the past 2 years, Washington has tightened rules to prevent advanced AI processors from reaching Chinese companies, citing national security concerns. The restrictions hit Nvidia particularly hard. Its most advanced chips, including the A100 and H100, were banned for export, prompting the company to design alternative versions that complied with U.S. regulations. But even those modified chips faced new barriers. Beijing's recent national security review effectively froze Nvidia's access to the Chinese market, with Huang acknowledging that the company's market share in China had dropped to zero. For a firm that once counted China as one of its biggest growth engines, the shift has been seismic. Huang's remarks about China being nanoseconds behind appear to recognize not just technological competition, but also the urgency of maintaining relevance in a market now leaning heavily toward domestic alternatives. Nvidia's precarious position between Washington and Beijing is emblematic of the broader tech Cold War unfolding between the two superpowers. In July, Huang met with then U.S. President Donald Trump to discuss the state of semiconductor exports. Reports indicated that the administration later eased some restrictions, allowing companies like Nvidia and AMD to continue limited sales of AI chips to China, in exchange for paying 15% of their Chinese revenues to the U.S. government. But the compromise didn't last long. Beijing's subsequent decision to suspend Nvidia's market access, widely seen as retaliation, has left the company searching for balance. According to industry insiders, Huang's latest remarks were less a political statement and more an attempt to spotlight what he views as the West's growing complacency in AI innovation. In the Financial Times interview, Huang reportedly argued that China's advantages in lower energy costs and fewer regulatory hurdles could accelerate its AI development faster than many in the West expect. The West is being held back by cynicism and excessive regulation, he is said to have warned, pointing to China's government subsidies that make energy cheaper for companies training large AI models. Such comments, while analytically grounded, immediately stirred political sensitivities. For policymakers in Washington, any suggestion that China is leading in AI raises alarms about national competitiveness and security. But for Huang, whose company's fortunes depend on selling AI hardware globally, the statement seemed to reflect a simple truth. The race for AI dominance isn't about borders, but about innovation speed and resource allocation. That's likely why Nvidia's clarification came so quickly. Within hours of the FT report, the company issued the revised statement emphasizing America's ability to race ahead and lead in AI development. The message aligned with Huang's long-standing belief that the United States can maintain its edge by investing heavily in software ecosystems and developer communities that rely on Nvidia's chips. This aligns with his broader lobbying efforts against export restrictions, not out of defiance, but out of pragmatism. Huang has often argued that keeping Chinese developers reliant on U.S. chip technology is itself a strategic advantage for America, ensuring that AI innovation worldwide remains tied to American infrastructure. By limiting sales too strictly, he warns, Washington risks pushing China to develop its own alternatives, which could permanently weaken U.S. influence in the sector. Despite these arguments, Nvidia's challenges in China continue to mount. The company has been effectively sidelined as Beijing doubles down on promoting its domestic semiconductor industry. Experts believe the Chinese government is using Nvidia's exclusion as leverage, a bargaining chip in broader trade negotiations with the United States. According to analysts cited by the Wall Street Journal, Chinese officials may be intentionally blocking Nvidia's return to pressure Washington into relaxing chip export rules. Meanwhile, China's homegrown companies, like Huawei and Biren, are racing to fill the gap, rapidly developing their own AI accelerators and training frameworks. For Nvidia, this means more than lost revenue. It's a long-term threat to its dominance in one of the world's fastest-growing tech markets. Still, Huang is not standing still. With Nvidia's access to China restricted, he has shifted his attention toward other regions and emerging opportunities. The company continues to dominate the global AI chip market, powering data centers, startups, and universities in the United States, Europe, and beyond. Huang has emphasized the need to double down on innovation. From energy-efficient GPU architectures to new software tools that make AI development more accessible. During his recent visit to South Korea, he highlighted the importance of international collaboration, hinting that Nvidia's future may rely less on any single market and more on building resilient global partnerships. His comments also reveal a broader philosophical stance, that the AI race will be won not by regulation, but by those who can build faster, think bigger, and adapt more quickly. As the dust settles from this latest controversy, one thing is clear. Jensen Huang's words carry enormous weight. Whether he intended it or not, his remarks reignited a vital conversation about the direction of global AI leadership and the complex balance between innovation, competition, and politics. The Nvidia CEO stands at a crossroads of technology and diplomacy, navigating one of the most volatile eras in modern tech history. For now, his softened statement suggests a strategic recalibration, a reminder that every word spoken by the leader of the world's most valuable chip company has consequences that ripple across continents. The race for AI supremacy is far from over, and as nations compete for dominance, it's clear that this is no longer just about chips or data. It's about who defines the future of intelligence itself. And Huang knows exactly how high the stakes have become.